Hi, my name is Brandon, and I'm an alcoholic and addict in recovery. One of the most important parts of my recovery has been learning humility and learning that I'm not always right and that my views of the world around me are not the right views and they're not necessarily even realistic views. Now, that's been a hard lesson to learn. It's one I am still learning. But as I was reading Annie Grace's This Naked Mind today, she talked about some of it in a way that really hit home with me. I'm going to read a little bit about what she says. She's talking about Dave Gray's discussion on liminal thinking and the way that your individual experiences of the world around you shape your beliefs about what is actually true in the world around you. And what she says is, Gray explains that we only see and experience part of reality, and no matter how many experiences we have had, our brains are not powerful enough to experience and observe everything. Gray makes the point that we are limited by what we pay attention to. In any given moment, the more you focus on one aspect of your experience, the less you notice everything else. We usually notice only the things specific to our immediate reality, the society we grew up in, the media, the influencers in our lives, and our actual life experience. Gray states that upon those relevant experiences and observations, we make assumptions. From those assumptions, we draw conclusions, and from those conclusions, we form beliefs. Gray defines belief as everything we know to be true. So, just to reiterate that, our beliefs, the things that we know to be true, according to Gray, those are actually 3 steps removed from reality. So what I view as the truth is shaped by the conclusions that I've drawn from assumptions that I've made based on my experiences and observations of reality. And what this means to me is that the way I see the world is not the way the world actually is. And I have to be open and accepting of the fact that, 1, other people are going to see the world differently, and 2, that doesn't make them wrong. One of the examples that they use to illustrate this in the book is the old story of the blind men and the elephant, where blind men are brought in to examine an elephant, and they each go and touch a different part of the elephant and are asked what they experience. And the person touching the trunk says that they're touching a snake. The person touching the side of the elephant says that they're touching a wall, and the person who's touching the tail says that he's touching a rope. That's all their own individual truth based on what they're experiencing, but it's wrong based on reality. And that really has been, it's been important for me during recovery to take a step back and stop feeling like the way that I see the world is the way the world actually is. I used to get really worked up when people didn't see things the way that I saw them. I used to get really upset with other people when their point of view was different from mine. And I used to alienate myself. I used to isolate myself and push away from people if they disagreed with me about the way the world was, the way things should work. And so I was cutting myself off from a lot of experience and a lot of friendship and a lot of fun in reality, just because I didn't hang out with people or associate with people who I felt were of a different mindset than me. And what I didn't appreciate at that time was that they were coming to the world with different sets of experiences, different assumptions about those experiences, and drawing different conclusions about those experiences to shape their own beliefs in the world. And in recovery, I have tried to learn how to respect that. I do believe that it's a balancing act. You still have to decide for yourself what you feel is right or wrong and stand up for that. But on the other hand, you also have to respect the fact that right or wrong can be different depending on who you are, where you came from, and your understanding of the world around you. So, big dose of humility is definitely a necessary thing in my recovery. It's this understanding that I don't understand how the world works. I only understand my beliefs about it based on my own experiences and my conclusions that I've drawn from those experiences. And that's a really important thing for me to realize, because as soon as I realize that, then I stop feeling as much of a need to be right, and I start becoming open to other ideas about what the truth of the world really is. And I start becoming open to the idea that there's really multiple truths. And if I listen more openly to other people, if I don't always think about when I'm going to be able to talk and what I'm going to say, and if I try to just allow other people to help me understand their points of view, then I expand my experience. I expand my understanding of the world, and my beliefs about the world become more robust and become more complex and less one-sided than they did when I was shutting everybody out who I felt was not in agreement with me. That is really important to my overall mental health, because as soon as I start accepting others and listening to other people, I stop arguing with them. I start to I stop serving my ego and pride in a way that brings up feelings of negativity, of anger, of resentment towards others. And this is how humility works in my life. It helps me to maintain a point of view that I don't have all the answers. I don't know all the answers. And by discussing things with other people and appreciating that their truth and my truth are part of the bigger truth, and not opposing each other, then I can actually exist a little bit more in harmony with people that it seems like I just totally disagree with in the beginning. And that creates more peace and serenity that fuel my sobriety and fuel my recovery, rather than the kind of anger and resentment that fueled all of my activities in my active addiction. That's it for today. I'll be back here tomorrow with more. Have a good one.